Ja ei kun vaan, oikein paljon tervetuloa teille kaikille. Se on Jonu oli tässä ja tänään jatkamme Quantum Breakia. Viime kerralla päästiin hyvin mielenkiintoiseen kohtaan ja vaikuttaa siltä, että saatettaisiin olla jopa hyvin lähellä loppua. Niin joo, hei, lähetän sen pikemmittä puhetta Quantum Breakin paliin. Joo, Quantum Breakin pali. Ei ole taittu Pali-nimistä henkilöä tässä tavata, mutta ehkä hänet nähdään tässä lopussa. Ehkä on easter egg-hahmo. Mut siis Quantum Breakin pariin. Ja katsotaan miten tässä käy. En tiedä saanko me tässä jaksossa vettyä tää loppuun, mutta vaikutti hyvin suht lähellä olevan loppua, niin joo, lähdetään sen pikemmittä puheitta eteenpäin. Katsotaan mistä kohti tää nyt lähtee.
Time was broken, working out of sync. The city was in a state of chaos.
Siltä vaikuttaa. Mitenkä asiat on näin perseellemmän?
And you still believed you could fix it?
The solution was inside Monarch Tower. The countermeasure.
The CFR, as Monarch knew it. The key to the lifeboat protocol. Monarch's survival plan. But that didn't seem to matter to you.
I had a better plan.
Oh.
Okay then.
Kun Jack, what was this better plan of yours? Eli mitenkäs napit tässä toimi? Mulla on taas viikko vai 2 tästä väliä. Mä oon viimeksi pelannut, niin pitäis melkein opetella tekee sille, että pelaa nää suht niinku tamaan syssyyn läpi. Ja siitä se et pääse. Mut joo, kyllä se. Eikä se siitä tuu taas mieleen. Meillä on drone tulossa. Jou! Näin kävi hyvin. Onko mitään ostoksia? Ei. Lopit piiloon. Ne vaan tätä kauempaa ehkä. Mikä ihme tää on? Oh! Well hello boy. Ja smackiste. Nice. Ei tää ehkä hirveästi auta. Seiko oli Soldier Swap, joo. Kerkesi ihan hyvin. Missäs täällä oli tyyppi? Onko se tuolla? Ei. Onko täällä tyyppi? Kyllä jostain ääniä kuuluu siellä. Nice. Mitä tää nappi teki? Kun niin tää teki sieltä. Alright. Ei sen pitäisi ehkä auttaa. Tai sattua. Hypätään kuitenkin pikkasen eteenpäin. Tuupas lähemmäksi. You activate my trap card. Haija! Joku Jack Joyce oikein. Että aissa. Menikö sinne juna alle? Joo, näköjään. Sieltä se pomppii. Woo! Oh man. Huono tuuri kävi sulla kaveri. Oh. Se on vähän hevimpi tyyppi vai? Okei, joo, ei. Nopeentele. Jaksaa tosta. Et nyt hirveen. Bomba tulla. No en näköjään kun ei pysty juokse. Ai siltäkin on sieltä. Ja mullakin. Tuossa sun sieltä ei kyllä paljon tee. Nyt se tekee. Ai hemmetti. Sitä ei voi käydä lyömässä. Mennäpäs vähän kauemmaksi. Sitä voi käyttää vähän. Onko tää joku light machine gun? Eikä oo, kun tää on joku ihme rifle. Damn. Okei, tuota ei voi tehdä vielä. No niin, etpä kerran tehdä.
Where they keep the countermeasure? Shouldn't be too hard to find. It's the biggest damn building in Riverport.
What do you see? Tuolta ei ole mitään mielenkiintoista. Hidden radio. Saanko panoksia? Panoksia, kiitos. Thanks.
I personally witnessed a car slamming into 3 people, a family as they were crossing the street, and I do not know where that car came from. The street was clear and suddenly it... the situation is being addressed by Monarch Solutions, who are responding to the crisis by... I can't do this. This isn't worth it. They didn't tell me it would be like this. They knew, didn't they? Those sons of bitches knew in the way that they were talking. I'm sorry. I have to go. I can't stay here. I have to go home.
The end of time is near. Panic! Panic! Tuota, en mä kyllä tiedä, miten mä toimisin tässä tilanteessa. Mä varmaan tekis vitsi mitä. Mä olisin sillä, että aha, well fuck. Fuck me then. I guess I'll die. Hyi, hirveet valot. Okei. Tuo näyttää vähän pelottavalta. Vaikka mä menet tästä.
Jack?
Beep.
I hope you can hear me.
Fiona.
Is that you?
Yes. I wasn't sure if I could make this work. Listen, the CFR, it's not easy to reach, but you can access it from Serene's office. A friend of mine has unlocked the CFR chamber, but the rest of the place is still in lockdown. I think I could help you with that. Like this.
I guess you can.
Well,
Serene
thank
isn't
you.
in the building anymore, so maybe you don't have to run it.
Okei. Sori toista, mä en skipannut tota juttua tossa. Mikäs täällä on? Uutislähetys.
Welcome to the international headquarters of Monarch Solutions. This state-of-the-art building has become world famous for its unique architecture and its iconic presence in the Riverport skyline. Incorporating an unprecedented level of automation designed with both comfort and security in mind, complete with a zero-carbon footprint. The building provides...
Okay. I don't care about your architecture. Se on betonimöhkäle ja valkoinen.
Well, in that
Se
case,
riittää
I'm sure
mulle.
you're all cool.
That's the only thing I see here. It's white and it's made of freaking concrete. What else do I have to know? Ai jaha! 12 Floors of Doom. Ilmeisesti. Mitä vielä? Ekko.
Mr. Hatch, I thought you... They said you're dead.
Mona
They
Blanki.
are confused about a great many things. I have a little job for you.
But I mean, I'm not sure I should...
You are still working for me.
Yes, of course. Whatever you say, Mr. Hatch.
Ai niin. Eiku niin kuolihan Hatsi viime kerralla. Jep. Mut sehän sitten tuli tätä kautta. Oi. Oh, hi. What the heck are you?
Buildings in lockdown. The hell's that even mean?
Poor bastard doesn't know anything about the train crash. Hope he doesn't have a heart attack when time resumes.
Jep. Toivotaan näin. Pääks tästä päin läpi? Nope. Sat tight. Well, let's continue upwards. Alright, sinä et näe minua tästä. On jo pari tyyppiä tippumassa jo kyllä. Hihi. Älä räjää.
Right. Paul's office.
Eiku niin, no Paul kyllä on. No silloin, no siinähän se pali olikin. Siinähän se olikin. Perrana, olihan minä oikeassa. Minun sössötyksissäni. Monarch radio note. Won't work in stutters. Radio waves get stuck same as everything else. Use stutter-proofed hardline terminals instead. Alright. Tootsi nää ei saa tytön kohta, kun kaveri lentää tossa.
Alright. How am I getting to Paul's office?
Maybe we have to do a little hackeroony. Oho. From Luther Talbot, getting to be that time to Pablo Torres. Hey Pablo, I think it's getting close. You better get your ass to a stutter-proofed area. I still can't believe this is real, but you've seen what it's like out there. Half the world's going to shit. Just glad we are in here. I don't know how it's all gonna play out, but at least this way we get a chance. Maybe we can fix things later. I bet those science guys can work it out, right? And hey, if you see that Jack Joyce asshole, just run. Dude, okay? I was talking to Clarice and I didn't realize this before. I thought he was just sneaky or lucky or something, but I saw some battle reports from the field and he's just a machine. Fucker just zoops his way through everything we throw his way. I know this place is safe, but I figure he'll show up sooner or later. I heard he's got some personal beef with Serene, so when he comes you better stay out of his way. Let the Jarheads handle that, if they can. If Joyce is going after Serene, he's gonna be pretty mad when he finds out the boss took a chopper out. You hear anything about that? What the fuck was that about? So it could be pretty ugly. See you when the dust clears, I guess. Stay safe, man. LT. Paul lähti karkuun. Look at his face! Holy shit! He seems so sick.
To understand what's happening. Must be scary.
Okay, ja Clarice Okawa. Shifter alert to Monarch HQ Chronon active personnel. Attention, the lifeboat security protocols are now in full effect. Our stutter-proofing has failed, and we have reports of Shifter in the building. What the heck? Miten te noin äkkiä kusitte tää homma? You all know the drill, we have trained for this. Do not approach Shifters alone. Remember that they are not restricted by the physical space in the same way we are. Deploy dampeners and watch your backs. Work in teams, remember your tactics, maintain your distance, don't take any unnecessary chances. Comms are unreliable due to the stutters, so pass the word to others and take advantage of stutter collapses to communicate as effectively as you can. We are attempting to repair the stutter-proofing as quickly as possible, but be advised that contrary to our earlier timeline, which gave us years more to prepare, we believe we are now on the verge of the final zero state. And every single stutter we encounter is more and more likely to be the one that never ends. That means our priorities have changed. The lifeboat protocol is in full effect and ensuring its success is our only objective, whether the position is Shifters, Jack Joyce or anybody else. It is vital that we all remember our training. If we do things right, we will make it out of this. And we will make our way into the lifeboat. Good luck and make me proud. Niinpä. Sieltä se tippuu. Jos mitään muuta, joku nappi, mitä pystyy tässä painaa.
What's going on here? Thought I'd run into organized resistance.
Monarch shifted gears. There's this survival program, and you're either in it or you're irrelevant. So everybody's just scrambling, and Serene's acting weird. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's just waiting for it all to end. But you're gonna keep that from happening, right?
Well, I think we are going to try. I don't know if we can do much. Nää on pomppina. We can do much, mutta yritetään. Tänne päin. Liikkuuks tää hissi muuten ees? Joo, ilmeisesti. Ei oo kuitenkaan statterissa.
Paul had the key to fixing the fracture all along, but he didn't see it.
There was nothing to see. He believed the fracture couldn't be fixed. That's why he used the countermeasure, the CFR, to create the lifeboat.
Okei, siellä on tyyppejä liikkeessä. Eiku, onko se mikä se oli? Sifteri. Wow!
Damn.
Pääsemme tappelemaan semmoista vastaan. Kyllä vaikuttaa niinku tulevan tänne suuntaan. Oh my god, this is gonna be the fight of the ages.
Mr. Hatch, sir, I mean, if I deactivate the stutter-proofing system, won't that, if time stops again, then the building will be...
Let me worry about that.
It's just that I'm really not sure this is okay. Couldn't we just check with somebody?
Do I have to look up your home address?
No, sir. I'll do it.
See that you do.
Se oli Hatchin tekosi, että tää stutterproofi hävisi täältä. Jaha.
Those men died fighting something that lives outside of time.
The very reason our weapons program was built. Serene knew they were coming.
Weapons weren't doing the trick.
From Paul Serene, Martin... No, hyvä kai se on lämmitellä taisteluun varten. Hyvä Jack Joyce. Jatka samaan malliin. From Paul Serene, Martin Hatch to Secret Team leads. Martin Hatch has been detained, and his authority over Monarch Solutions and its employees, along with his security clearance, has been rescinded. I want a fully security team watching him at all times. He is not to be given access to any computer systems or communications. Don't talk to him and don't allow him to talk to anybody. Lock him down and keep him locked down. If he attempts to escape, shoot to kill. I'll deal with him when I'm done with the present crisis.
Fiona, can you get this door open for me?
I think so. Sorry, this isn't quite my forte. I know a guy who would do this in his sleep, but he's about as dependable as... Oh, never mind, that did it. Be careful. You'll have company in there.
Joo, nyt vaikuttaa siltä, että joudutaan tappelemaan Shifteria vastaan. Mutta jos aseet ei siihen toimi, niin mitä ihmettä, mitä me mukaan voidaan tehdä? Missä? Siellä. You really want me to clear these guys? Eikö olisi hyvä jättää hoitelle se sifter? Nyt väärä nappi. Mä voit tässä vaihtaa. En näköjään. Siitä. Oh, vielä kerkes. Ja sillä oli muitakin tyyppejä. Okei, lisää tyyppejä tuli. Ota. Hyvä. Nice. Ei voida auta toiselta. Kuoliko? Kyllä. Wup. Kun on Beyblade. Joku takaa? Ei. Right. Mitä ei voi koskaan. Tuo se sifteri on kyllä varmaan päässyt tuosta läpi, jos se on tullut. Kurit oli tietokone, mikä ainakin palo. On, sillä on tuoppi vielä. Ui. Ei totta tätä paskiaisi. Niitä on 2! Häh? Miksi ei tehnyt mitään? What the hell is this bullshit? Whoop. Pilon. Tiedätkö mä oon täällä? Kyllä se jostainkin tietää, että mä oon täällä. Mitenkään tää hoitis? Nyt järkevästi. Kuolis heti. Ai jutsi, sitä piti mä lataa. Kyllä tuun kuoletta. I'm gonna die so badly. Ei hitsi, tää on huono kohta. Mä en pysty volttaa tästä varmaan. Pystytkö? Otais. Okei. Eikä tääkö ei niinku... Tääkö ei niinku toimi? Joo, ei se ei tee mitään. From some freaking reason. Mä näen mitään. Siitä loppu panokset. Saanko joku taktikaali? Kun te aseita antaa mulle jotain parempaa kuin pistooli. Teillä oli kyllä joku taktikali juttu tällä yhdellä aikaa. Siellä. Kiitos. Hyvä. Siinä on tämmönen pörstiase. Ui. Ja joku 3 panosta enää. Jerikko tuo osuma? Ei varmaan vielä. Mene jonnekin muualle. Siinä on pyssy. Ota johonkin. Ihan sama mihinkä. Johonkin vaan. Okei. Mennään tähän turvaan. Hetkeksi piiloon. Nyt on asiat ladattu. Ei se riittänyt. Mä pysty tostakaan ampumaan. Kyllä se vielä menee. Hyp, hyp. Ais! Yksi pois, luultavasti. Yes. Hyvä. Ja siitä sinut. Vähän tuota. Ja siitä kun tommonen hieno toi taktinen, toi harhautuspyöräys. Okei. Juoksuun. Ja siitä se ohi. Ei, miksi et tehnyt? Perhana, sulla ei oo sitä saakeli. Okei, hetki tässä. Miten tuo sieltä? Oli halunnut dashata se ohi nimittäin. Voiko tuo dashi ja... Ei ne oo samantainen kytköksissä. Ei vaan rekisteröinyt sitä. Okei. Toinen kerta toden sanoo. Miksi tässä? Oi, yes. Verran. Wow. Kova. Mä ehkä mietin shotgunin käytössä. Tää juttu saisi jonkun puuaseen tämän paikan tosiaan jees. Pitäkö olla semmosia?
You told me that Hatch had Paul's full support. I saw otherwise.
There was a temporary misunderstanding.
Jaa, vai niin. From where are Kovacs? That creepy asshole's gone. To Alim Lowdown. Alim, did you hear that Hatch is out? I don't know exactly what went down, but Holden from Acquisition says Hatch did something to really piss off Serene. Maybe something that involved blowing something up on the island. I don't know, and frankly I don't know if Holden did either. It all sounds pretty crazy even by Monarch standards. Anyway, Holden says Hatch got escorted out of his office by a whole bunch of armed security guys. I mean, that wasn't a security will escort you out of the building situation. Holden says it was for real, so I guess that guy's done. Good riddance. Maybe now we can get some work done without him Darth Vadering the crap out of us. That guy's always creeped me out. Oh, I had another thing too. You were right, Dr. Amaral came back. I was sure Joyce would just kill her, but nope, she made it back alive. Mikä Amaral pääsikin karkuun. Anyway, glad I was wrong about... Ei kun Niina nyt pitää toi miettiä, mennään 2010 vuoteen olla menty, niin joo. Eli Amaral kuitenkin tuli jostain takaisin jostakin asiasta. Ei kun niin. I was sure Jack Joyce would just kill her, but no. Tämä aikanta on saattanut ehkä vääristyä vähän enemmänkin. Anyway, glad I was wrong about that one. She's cool people. She picked a good time to come back too. Things are getting really bad outside. It's really starting to dawn on me. We are really lucky to be in here, instead of stuck out there in all the craziness. They said there's planes coming down from the sky now. Crazy. Let me know you're okay, Alim. We. Niin se 2016 oli se, milloin me Amaraali kidnappattiin. Mikä on niinku 6 vuotta aikaisemmassa tässä, kun me mentiin 2010 vuoteen ja nyt Amaral on tullut takaisin. Mutta sitä ennenhän me ei aina siinä timelineissa 2006. Onko sitä... Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Something definitely ain't right in here. On tuossa panoksia, kiva. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't freaking know that. Miksi täällä on punainen laukku? Tai talkku? Not on first aid. Okay. The whole timeline is twisted.
The Monarch PR machine was going strong. The public believed that they were doing what the police force couldn't. Protecting them from a terrorist threat. From...
You.
Me. Monarch PR protocol. PR protocol. Monarch Solutions responds to tragedy. No public aggression, coercion / manipulation over violence, contain buries pin everything, friendly safe authority. Control Mayor, Riverport PD, Monarch assisting the authorities. Deploy ZMAC for the media control, remove Radford. Manufacture terrorist threat, Jack Joyce. Note, Jack Joyce should be a clear later addition on the board. Info warfare. See Charlie Wingot for detail. Plot social networks / media sites with new narrative. Drown out legitimate reports with flood of conflicting accounts. Ihme potta. Paint troublemakers as bleeding heart extremists. Attain critical mass, useful idiots will take over trolling. Take use of the Twitter trolls. That's how we like it. No, niitä trolleja kaikkialla muuallakin. Hetkone. By the way, the lobbies. Mikä nyt mä saan sen auki? Alright.
Fiona, I'm trying to get to the Skybridge.
Skybridge. You're in marketing right now. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it. Hey, Jack, be careful. There's something really weird going on in this building.
Monarch was scrambling. Paul's empire was falling apart all around me. I'd never seen anything like it. But Paul had. That's what he was preparing for all those years. He didn't do a very good job.
Well, because you went and fucked things up, my man. Don't you see? You are making everything to go to shit. Osittain tää niinku värien käyttö ja tämmönen niinku just tämmönen hyvin valkea ja oranssi, niin saa mut miettiä tuota Mirrors-etkeä hyvin paljon. Jotenkin on tää niinku Monarchin tää niinku tätä arkkitehtuuri täällä. Hyvin simppeli ja kaksiväristä. Onko täällä jotain mitä voin katsoa? Ei. Okei. Miksi hidastuu?
Holy shit.
Sifterin kai ilmeisesti kanta pelleillä. Get on ground now! Oh shit. You okay, friend? Vähän huonoa. Huono asento oot jäänyt kyllä siinä. Tässä tää 2. Jep, onko te joku audio? Damn! Mikä? Say again? One more time. En mä saa selvä, joku testaski tai joku. Tuli meidän tuo Time Knife. Niistä tyypin kirjoituksista. No just tämän Bruce Livingstonen kirjoituksista, kyllä. Oh, vittu se screenplay! A new video! Let's go! To Sofia Amaral. Hey Sofia! Still haven't heard from you about my screenplay. I know you're busy with all your work, but this is really taking off in a big way. So let's try to get going on this, okay? I know this thing is gonna be huge. So I just went ahead and mortgaged my house to make this thing reality. It's my dream and I'm gonna follow my dream. And once I get the Kickstarter going, this thing's gonna pay me back for the mortgage. Onko se mortgage? Mortgage. Mortgage, so no problem. I already shot a short promoting for the KS campaign. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna star in it, but I've got a really cool part for you too if you want it. You'd be perfect for it. Also, like I said, I'm gonna need that science feedback stuff soon. Let me know as soon as possible. You go boy, you go boy. Hyvä Brucey. Hyvä Brucey. Remedy, milloin saadaan Time Knife-peli? Meidän pitää saada Bruce Livingston siihen pääsadoin hahmoksi sitten.
They have a time machine here? Shit. This is where they brought the university core. This is Paul's machine. Looks like they have it on the top floor.
Tämä olisi ollut hyvin hauska, ne easterkin tässä olisi joku vaikka tietokone, missä pystyisi pelaamaan jotain semmoista Time Knife-peliä. Heillä on skripti jo valmiina siihen. Tai screenplay. Monarch paperweight with note. Ensure personally that CFR chamber is secure. Secure? Secure? Monarch Security Special Project Lab Floor 12. Eikä ihan ylimmässä. Okei. Mitäs täällä on? From Bernard Riker, a confession to Paul Serene. Sir, I know you won't have a chance to read this email until you return to the HQ, but I have turned this over in my head repeatedly and I see no other option than to let you know what I have done. I have deactivated the stutterproofing at the building. I had maintenance access and I used it, but I want you to know I did it under tremendous duress. Martin Hatch left me no choice. He threatened my family and I didn't know what else to do. Niin tääkö oli se yksi niistä tyypeistä, joo. I still don't know. I know there are shifters out there. The stutterproofing is gone and I don't have a chronon harness, so technically I'm safe. The shifters only exist in stutters, and when one of those hits, I freeze. Just like the rest of the world. So whatever happens during the stutter, I'm safe, barring some kind of a desynchronization related accident. What that means though is that when I blink I'm here and the next one there's 2 dead strikers on the floor. Dead because of me. Their blood all over me, from nowhere. I'm looking at them right now, typing this on my phone. I can smell the blood and, I don't know, ozone, I guess, and smoke. Their gears sparking. They'd be alive if I hadn't. I'm sorry, I think I'm hyperventilating. I don't know if I can hold it together much longer. I don't know why Hatch wanted this to happen, but he did. I think he wants the GFR for some reason. You can't trust that fucker, sir. I know you are close, but I think he's as evil as they come. I'm so sorry, sir, but I'm not making excuses. I know I fucked up. I don't know how to deal with this. I have always respected your drive and dedication. You have no idea. But I don't have those things. I'm just an engineer. This is just too much for me. If you come back and fix things, please look after my family. They didn't have anything to do with this. Bernard Riker, Senior Chronon Tech. Man. Voi. No, toivottavasti me voidaan jotain ainakin saa aikaiseksi tässä. En tykkää näistä äänistä. Kunnon savupilvet. Krononi jossain tuo kauempana. Katsene ei lupaa hyvää. Tuossa etees vähän, siellä oli jotain juttuja. Dr. Kim?
What the fuck was that thing? The train.
All personnel, stay
It
clear
wasn't
of the
a
lower
fucking
levels.
train.
There's a
Jack, are you
possible
freaking
hazard.
stupid?
Repeat, stay clear of the lower levels. There appears to be a train crashed into the building. The situation is under control. All personnel should remain in secure areas. There are intruders in the building. Repeat, remain in secured areas.
Sure will.
Another door I need help with, Fiona.
You're at Serene's office. Good. Just a second. This one's a little tricky. Serene's got access to the CFR chamber, and there's going to be a pretty dangerous guy there guarding. Got it. Just be careful, okay?
Thank you, Fiona.
Paul was already gone, but he left behind the one thing I needed.
We have a mission. Prep the chopper.
Ready to lift off in 15, sir. What's the profile?
Full tactical complement. And we're going to need a tech squad for assembly. I'll brief them on the way.
Copy that. Good hunting, sir.
Niin Okava oli noin tuossa Task Forcessa mukaan. Okay, cool. Untitled note. I have left this message here for you to find, that soon when the time comes and I ask you to choose, you can do so with your eyes open and with some hint of understanding. I have no secrets, and the only things I choose to omit are the ones that you, in your current limited state, would not be able to grasp no matter how hard I try to make you understand. I have walked down the same path you are now on. Once from your perspective a long time ago, although time no longer has such meaning to me, I too came in contact with a time machine. In my case, it was not a man-made device, but a natural one in a cave. It should come as no surprise, really, that such things exist. Well, it actually does. Much like natural nuclear reactors do exist, such as the now defunct ones at Oklo, Africa. After all, the Meyer-Joyce field has its irregularities. I too became chronon active. I too developed chronon syndrome. And in time I too lost control and became a shifter. Became at once everything and nothing. Was everywhere and nowhere. Died countless deaths and was still alive. My every probability, every possibility happening at once. I promised I would not lie, and thus I tell you. The noise and the pain and the rage were more than anyone could suffer and not go insane. I burned in this fire for a long time. There were brief moments of awareness in this endless nightmare. Different versions of certain key moments in my life that I found myself reliving again and again. Trying to make things right, like a puzzle. On and on and on. I am convinced that the stutters and the end of time saved me. For those were the only places, the only times where I could even briefly stop and rest and slowly find focus and control again, and ultimately master this state. Not emerge from it, not be cured, not go back to what I was before. For there is no such thing, but to learn to be in one place and everywhere at once. My perception is altered, like that of someone who has seen a perceptual illusion, and discovered that the picture is both a young girl and an old woman at the same time. Once you see them both, you can never not see them. We are such limited beings. We play with just one piece. On just one square on an endless chessboard. Just one life, one timeline, in an infinite multiverse of possibilities. Am I an exception? The only one who has found his way to the other side? Or is this just a shifter's brief dream before a stutter collapses? There are other shifters. You, your best friend who is now your mortal enemy, Dr. Kim. Others, some of whom you know. It doesn't matter who, because they are gone. And when they emerge, if they ever emerge, they will not be who they were, just as I am, not who I was before. I have done my part in helping you all achieve this state. If time is an ocean with a frozen surface, then the stutters and the end of time are holes in that ice, opportunities to come up for air. I have a plan, it's already in motion, but it would be futile to try to explain it to you, like trying to explain 3 dimensions to someone who can only see 1. But make no mistake, I do not look down on you. I strive for humility, even as I shift this world from one state to another. I will make this possible. I stand in between. I don't see myself as a gate. I remain humble. I am something smaller. A hat. Ei tuo ehkä Martin Hats voi jotenkin tuo Hats lopussa oli että Martin Hats. Se ei se kukakaan toi oo. Onko meillä joku kolmaskin tyyppi tällä, jolla on joku kronoon voima? Ei täällä oo ketään. Mutta piti odottaa joku tyyppi tää. Tässä salaisuuksia täältä löytyy.
My office alarm went off. Is that you skulking around, Jack?
Fuck you. I'm done playing games. I'm here for what you stole.
Yes, of course. The CFR. If you understood just how much depended on that, you'd leave it alone. But I know you don't care.
You're right. I don't. And it looks like you're not here to stop me.
Yes. Yes, everything will play out as it has to play out. I'll see you very soon, Jack.
What do you mean? Okei, no swimming poolilla nytte.
I'm done dancing your tune, you crazy bastard.
Mhm. Onks tää joku niinku distraction meille? Vai? From Paul Serene, final instructions to Clarice Ogava. Clarice, as you know, I have a mission to embark on, so I'll try to be brief. I have initiated the lifeboat protocol over Martin's objections. Given how things have developed since then, I'm glad I did. I don't fully understand Martin's motives, but it's obvious he's moving against me, and against the entire survival plan itself. I know you have worked closely with him, and I know that this must come as a shock. It's also alarming that in evading capture, Martin took out an entire security team for an unarmed man who's ostensibly not combat trained. That should be impossible. Obviously, this is highly alarming news. I don't know if he had help or if there's even more to Martin than we have come to suspect. But he's had free reign over this company for a long time. And he's extremely resourceful and persuasive. It's not clear to me who I can trust at this point. But I know I can depend on you. I trust that you will see things through in my absence and ensure the stutter-proofing stays up. In particular, I would appreciate if you would ensure that Dr. Amaral stays safe in the lifeboat. She has been through a lot during the past 24 hours, and she still managed to make her way back to us and bring vital intel. Thank you for your loyal service, Clarice. It has always been appreciated. Paul.
That was just a couple of minutes between stutters.
The countermeasure
Joo,
was
mä olen
Paul's
täällä
place.
joo.
Everything he built was based on Will's device. His plan depended on it. You better believe I look forward to taking it from him.
Only one of Serene's treatments survived the explosion. His time was running out.
So was everybody else's.
Oliko se teksti nyt tästä joo? Jep. Joo, kyllä. Kyllä me ollaan samassa timelineissa, missä kuitenkin toi Serene oli hyvin huono olo. Mutta se on jännä, että tää on nyt 2010 vuoteen hypättiin ja se oli 2016 oli milloin me tultiin takaisin. Tää on hyvin niin kuin nopeampi timeline tää niin kuin, missä asioita tapahtuu. Oh my god. From Sofia Amaral, read Time Machine Core to Paul Serene. Onks tää mitenkä päin luettava? Tuossa October 9, October 8, näin päin, kyllä vain. October 7. Mä en tiedä, onko näistä nyt tekstiä, mitä mä oon joskus lukenut. No katsotaan. Here to Paul Serene from Sofia Amaral, October 7, Time Machine Core. Paul. We now have finalized the plans for acquiring and transporting the Time Machine Core from the University Lab. Your instructions are quite clear. We won't actually move in until your younger self has entered the machine, and the men will try to take the Joyces alive, with the understanding that Jack Joyce in particular could be a threat, and neither can be allowed to escape under any circumstances. I'm still quite uncomfortable with all this, Paul. I understand your reasoning and I know the stakes are high, but I don't want to see anybody hurt. It's antithetical to my role as a scientist, and I wish you to reconsider. Surely there's a better way to resolve this, moral implications aside. The loss of Dr. Joyce's expertise alone would be a great blow. If everything goes smoothly and quietly, we will transport the core directly to the Monarch Tower via ground route. If there's commotion and it seems there's any risk of detection, we will instead airlift the core to our dry docks operation, and then move it discreetly from here to HQ. The construction of the new time machine frame at the top of the Monarch Tower has been finished since last year. Once we have received the core, it will be installed into the time machine per your orders. I know you don't intend to use it, but even with the limitations the nature of time travel imposes on us, I have to say it seems like a great waste to not take advantages of such a resource, both from a strategic and a scientific point of view. Dr. Sofia Amaral. Sukuivuu. No nää on 2016 vuodelle kuitenkin. Mutta se on hyvin mielenkiintoista, voit kuitenkin lukea 2016-luvun juttuja, vaikka on 2010 vuosi. Vai unoinko mä nyt jotain tässä, mitä tapahtuu välissä? Menimme takaisin 2016 vuoteen? Ei mun mielestä. Ja nyt Pauli vastaa Sofialle. Sofia. I understand why you would feel that way, but this isn't something I take lightly. It's my experience that time travel only complicates things, and while my own trip through time has given us great opportunities, it's also set me on this path. I want to control it, not use it. That said, I want to have the machine ready to use for emergencies. My foreknowledge of future events will end very soon, and it might prove to be useful to have the option of obtaining more detailed information from the future. Obviously, given that the furthest you could go back is the machine's activation at the university, visiting the past seems fairly useless. Also ensure that the machine is heavily guarded at all times. Nobody is allowed to operate the machine besides myself, and I want the corridor to remain undeployed unless I give specific orders to the contrary. As for the Joyce's brothers, I intend to give William the option of joining us, if possible, but I know him. He's a very stubborn and unstable man, and I don't know if we could ever trust him. I don't need to remind you that he built in that ridiculous little workshop with very limited resources a device that broke the local physics at ground zero and caused my Cronon syndrome. I don't intend to give him a chance to show us what else he could do if he decides that we are a target. That, along with the visions I have seen, there are certain sentimental reasons that make me wish I could let William live, but I doubt that he makes it possible for us. As for Jack, I'm not too worried about him. It took me a long time to master my abilities, so Jack shouldn't be a major problem unless he manages to use stutters to escape the area. Luckily, stutters should be very rare in these early stages of the fracture. Still, I've come too far to take any chances. I'd prefer to take him alive, but nothing can be allowed to put our plan at risk. I'm sorry to have to involve you in something like this. I know it's not what you signed up for, and as I said, I don't expect you to be personally involved with that part of the operation anyway. I'm not particularly happy about this part myself, and I wish I had better options, but our circumstances are as they are, and I have come too far to falter now. I hope you understand. Sitten Sofialta. Paul, yes, of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to add to your burden, and I know that these are hard decisions. You can count on us to proceed as planned. I know you're exceptionally busy now that the time is almost upon us, but I was hoping you'd have time for dinner? Sofia Amaral. Sitten Paul Siriniltä. Sophia, please update me on our progress with the time machine core relocation. Where are we with this? Thank you. Ai. Hyvä yritys, Sofia. Ei ihan uponnut. Paul, don't worry about it. We are on schedule. Your time machine core from the university has been transported to the HQ, and it's currently being installed into the new time machine frame we've built for it. You'll have direct access to it from the CFR chamber, as requested. And no, before you ask, you can't actually access the CFR chamber from the time machine. That elevator can only be activated from within the chamber, so no one working on the machine can get the CFR. I thought you'd appreciate that layer of added security. I know how important it is to keep the CFR safe. Anyway, I know you don't actually intend to use the time machine, but should you ever need it, all we need to do is deploy the corridor. It's actually all hooked up now, but we are still running some final diagnostics. The techs should be ready with it before the gall's over. Amaral. Siinä oli teksti. Vieläkö lisää tekstiä? Kyllä vain. Give me that text.
Paul spent a long time running Monarch in secret. It probably didn't help with that whole disconnected from reality thing.
Sirene's surface. Reflections on the end. Her reflections on the end. I wish my memories about the end of time were clearer, but it was anything but a clear time in my life, and the world was such a jumble, a frozen mess of different timelines crashing together. I was running for my life the whole time, trying to avoid the shifters. Not an ideal state of mind for gathering intel. And it didn't help that she kept chasing me, trying to kill me. Beth Wilder, one of my own people. It was her all along. Even then, trapped in the end of time, as little as I understood about what was going on, I could tell she wasn't like me, that she didn't have the powers I did. I knew she had some kind of technology that kept her going in that suspended hell. Of course, I had no idea it was a device I would eventually have my people develop. I suppose I should appreciate the irony that it was her chronon harness, my own chronon harness, that it gave me the idea for the lifeboat protocol. Onpa jännästi yhteys ja kaikki toisiinsa. Ja tämän teknologian kehitys. The idea that our technology could let humanity survive the end of time, I suppose I have to thank her for that. And she paid for her sins in the end, but she left her mark on me. I know the time to pay for mine is approaching quickly, but not just yet. Back then, when Wilder and I played our game of cat and mouse at the end of time, if I'd had an ounce of the control over my powers that I do now, things would have turned out very differently between the two of us. She was strong and had the training, and I was young and weak and scared. Even so, my abilities gave me an edge. I was lucky she didn't have the full striker gear. She was the one with the upper hand. I didn't learn to properly control my abilities until much later. I didn't learn to properly learn. In those days, they were unpredictable and operated on instinct. Control didn't come easy. I can't help but be aware that this doesn't seem to be the case for Jack. His mastery is growing by leaps and bounds. Is it just because that's the way he's always been? Fast on his feet, bold and adaptive? Or is the fracture affecting him too? I thought we could contain him. It's cost us dearly. It's not a mistake I will make again. Missä? Siinä. Okay, Paul. I hope you don't make the same mistake again. Alright! Sielläkin olisi portat. No well. Nytkäpä en haluat menevän ton. Alright! Onko jääkaapissa mitään? Ei oo, kun ei se ole auki. Joku on lukinut se. Kuka helvetti kehtaa lukita jääkaapin?
17 years, he lived through twice. All of it mapped out, from memory.
He knew the market trends before they occurred. He had the tools to make a fortune, and he did.
Kaveri cheatas. Jumalauta.
Paul told me that he tried to change things. It failed. What he'd seen, it broke him. And I'd seen Beth go down the same path, but Paul... it consumed him.
2022 ei tapahdu mitään. Mutta täällä sitä ollaan 24 vuodessa. 24 vuodessa. We've gone back in time to 24. 2024 siis. From Sofia Amaral. Quantum Ripple Research Unit to Paul Serene. Paul, Martin, I know you both been arguing that the Quantum Ripple Causality Research Subdivision has great potential, and we should keep it funded. I must once again implore you to reconsider. I'll be the first one to admit that the technology is impressive. The fact that Doctors Morphine and Ranger can actually track the consequences rippling out from minor shifts within the Meyer-Joyce field is incredible, and the level of informational detail they managed to obtain is amazing. But here's the thing, they've been at this for 2 years now, and they have not produced a single useful result. Yes, we can trace actual events from their small inception point to the actual consequences, very much in keeping with the basic chaos theory concept of the butterfly flapping its wing. But, well, so what? Every single thing that happens in this universe is the result of such a chain of events. Being able to see the chain offers no real insight to anything due to the very randomness of the process. Furthermore, it's utterly misleading. You could say that some tiny event or tiny decision in my life yesterday led me to writing this email, and that's technically true. But so did some tiny event or tiny decision in my life 15 years ago. It's all chain. The event yesterday didn't take place in a vacuum. It didn't come out of nowhere. So what's the point? We have no control over it. We don't get to direct it, and we get no useful information out of it. Also, have you actually seen the report they generate? From a technological point of view, the way they managed to automate their analysis of the fluctuation signatures within the Meyer-Joyce field is impressive, but again, it's all meaningless babble with no practical applications. Their personal remarks on the reports are even worse. With all due respect to Ron and Terry and their indisputable technical expertise, I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not sure they do either. It's like they are coming up with stuff at random. The above outlines my concerns as to the futility of the entire process, and I suspect that may not be enough to sway you. But I have one final point, which I think you should consider very, very carefully. The entire program is an unforgivable waste of Monarch resources. I don't mean money, although the entire quantum ripple causality research subdivision is costing us millions and millions of dollars. But that doesn't really matter, because I know we can afford that. However, there's a more vital resource they are consuming. Each time they fire up their rig and delve into the Meyer-Joyce field, they eat up a huge amount of chronon particles. Those are finite resources, and as you know, we are projecting that the ground zero's yield will rapidly diminish as the fracture takes hold, which will happen very soon. You may not understand what the real impact of this is. So let me put it to you in practical terms. Every single time they detect and analyze a quantum ripple, it costs us a week of potential lifeboat runtime, minimum. Given Monarch's primary purpose and the total lack of useful results, I believe that's a luxury we can't afford. I recommend shutting them down immediately, or at the latest during our next reorg, kill them. No, let's take that out. We can reallocate their resources to something useful and put Ron and Terry into cleaning duties. Actually into the great use of designing the lifeboat. I'm sure we wouldn't regret putting them to work on that, given their track record of working with Chronon Tech, Sofia Amaral, head of research, and very angry about this whole situation. Näin. Ja täältähän se Pauli lähtikin ylispäin. Tää on tämmönen röntgeni, kö se on? Kuvantamislaite.
Paul was a powerful man.
Scanneria.
The leader of an empire. But behind the veil, he was a dying man. The signs were clear.
A dying man, but a great man. Doing great thing for technological thing.
Dr. Amaral was the one thing keeping Paul alive, but reading through their exchanges, there was something more than professional going on.
That's not my place to comment on.
Eikö, kyllä sä Oka vaikka nyt vähän olit kiinnostunut asiasta, myönnä pois. It's the end of time, no one cares. Sofia's personal notes, Dr. Sofia, October 9th. I find myself at loss. We knew that the fracture would arrive, it was clear very quickly that the process... We knew that the fracture would arrive. It was clear very quickly that the process was occurring much faster than Paul's projections. His experiences had led us to believe. That was alarming in itself, but there's another concern. With the fracture, Paul's condition seems to be accelerating rapidly. I don't know what to do about either one of those issues. Any of these issues. One of these issues. I haven't had a chance to examine Paul properly, and of course he won't consent to any real test at this point. He won't take the time, not with the situation being as critical as it is. He has to prepare for the gala. To take care of every little stupid thing Martin trots out for him. He won't think of himself at all, and I'm afraid that'll cost us dearly. So, I don't know, I'm just speculating, but I believe this acceleration is a reaction to the stutters in time. In zero state, his wave function is further disrupted by the excessive chronon energies within his body. Before the university incident, before the fracture, the condition was progressive, but controllable. The lack of stutters helped keep it in check. Now its progress is rampant, and I worry that it may reach a critical point soon. We always knew that was a possibility, but all of our projections assumed we would have years. Time enough to come up with a cure, or a way to stop its progress. Which means there's a very real chance that in the near future Paul's condition overtakes him. And if he does become a shifter, I don't know what to do about it. We haven't been able to help Dr. Kim. I don't know what we could do for Paul. I don't know what to do. The treatments are still working, but they take a toll on him, and their effect is greatly diminished. I'm concerned we may hit a point where he's forced to use them so often that the treatment becomes worse than the condition itself. And yet, I don't see any other options. He will not rest. He insists on doing so much. I know he chafes under his dependence on the treatment. He sees it as a weakness. I'm afraid I may lose him. That's sad. Alright, Shifter, where the heck are you?
Chance to walk away, Joyce.
Who the hell?
Ketä hengitys on?
Just one of you. Really? Look, you have to realize you're not gonna keep me from the CFR. You don't look like you're in any shape for this.
Emily, where are they?
Have it your way.
Okay. Well.
He's got one of those fucking things.
Ei, niin mä voin käyttää mun perkelettä. Ui. Itpä tiedätkö, että mulla on shotgun. Mä varmaan päästä todella, nyt kun mä tapaan sen. Kokeilla. Ei voi. Kaikki. Voisin voinut ottaa sinut kuule henki. Mutta voitu puhua tästä asiasta. Nyt se näyttää, se vaikuttaa siltä, että ei onnistu. Uhu. Sorry.
Don't do it, man. Just stay down.
Fuck you. I've got too much writing on this. You're not going anywhere.
Sorry, Liam. Sorry, Liam. But it had to go this way. You can't do anything
Seeing that
else.
face put it into perspective. They were all misled, manipulated to believing they were doing what was right, what was necessary.
Liam Burke made his choice.
Liam Burke was an unnecessary casualty, one of way too many.
Mutta hän teki vain sitä, minkä hän uskoi oikeaksi. Voiko häntä sinä siitä syyttää? Ja hei, tuossa on ollut padoksia, mutta mä en saisi hakea niitä. Mieti, jos mulla olisi ollut 0 panosta. Niin no pistolissahan olisi
They'd
ollut.
stockpiled all the chronon particles from ground zero to keep the lifeboat running.
Enough to hopefully last until a proper solution was discovered.
From Heavy Emerald, Chronon Particle Stockpile Update to Lifeboat Maintenance. Everyone, please be advised that we are now at the point where lifeboat activation may occur. Accordingly, I have ensured that preparations are underway for activation. As a part of that, what Chronon Particle stores still remain at the Ground Zero harvesting operation are being moved to the headquarters and placed into the Master Chronon Particle Repository, ready to be placed under CFR's control. Please be aware that what we have managed to accumulate until this point is very likely to be all the chronon particles we ever have access to. Due to the fracture effects on the Major Joyce field, the Ground Zero anomaly is showing definite signs of weakening. As a result, the chronon particle yield decreases drastically and will soon drop to baseline. While we will obviously continue more traditional chronon particle harvesting operations in order to maximize our stockpile, We all need to recognize that sourcing them outside of the ground zero conditions is extremely inefficient. Or in plain terms, unless we find another source of chronon particles, and I don't believe we will, what we have now is all we will ever have. Please be aware that all use of chronon technology eats into our limited resources. And while we of course recognize that we need to have our strikers and other soldiers operate in stutters, each operation undertaken will eat away at our stockpile, and in very real terms cost us days of lifeboat runtime. Accordingly, we have to plan all use of this technology closely and choose our battles carefully. That said, we should also realize the ongoing situation with Jack Joyce constitutes an emergency. And will most likely require unconventional chronon particle investments. Just the same, we should be aware of the cost. I expect to see projected chronon particle consumption rates for the foreseeable future and stimulations of how long our stockpile will last, adjusted for all of the scenarios we have discussed. See our last meeting minutes. In our next Monday meeting, Sofia Amaral, head of research.
The lifeboat revolved around the countermeasure. He knew Will would try to take it back, that's why he was killed. He knew I'd try to do the same eventually.
Clearly, he was right.
Lauren McStevenson, read me right now CFR procedure to lifeboat maintenance. People, because there seems to be a certain lack of clarity about when it's appropriate for someone to enter CFR chamber and mess with the chronon field regulator, and because I just had to fire Kevin Janeway because he did that exact thing, let me remind you of the approved CFR procedure. You do not touch the CFR, period. I may touch the CFR because I'm the lead technician in charge of it. Dr. Sofia Amaral may touch the CFR because she's our head of research and she knows what she's doing. Mr. Porcirine may touch the CFR because he's Paul fucking Serene and it's his CFR. Nobody else touches the CFR. On occasion, some enormously lucky individuals who have been personally trained by me and are proven to be very, very dependable and incredibly good at their jobs, who don't have a track record of trying to enter the CFR chamber like paint-huffing imbeciles because they just wanted to take a closer look at it, and who have remembered to bribe the lead technician in charge of the CFR with Tom Waits tickets, maybe given written instructions to perform specific procedures on the CFR. That will be great honor and sign of significant degree of trust, and those people should be accorded all professional respect and an appropriate degree of brown-nosing. Brown-nosing. And or passive-aggressive displays of envy by their peers. Or to put it another way, you do not touch the CFR unless you want to join Kevin in the how to stop being an arrogant dumb shit who jeopardizes the only hope of a future for the entire human race because his mansplaining ass thought what the CFR really needed was a random dude who knew better. Self-improvement course down at the unemployment office, which I'm sure is where we all believe he was escorted to by those armed men. There are no exceptions to this. The entire lifeboat protocol depends on the CFR being present, properly connected and functioning normally. You do not want to jeopardize this. This is bigger than any of us, and we are not here to fuck around. Lauren McStevenson, lead CFR Tech. Käskystä, rouva! Ja mä menen heti koskee sitä. Let's go! I'm just the type of guy who is gonna be the one to just
Fiona,
who wants to go and touch it.
Door's locked.
Just for the sake of it. Because I'm Jack Joyce.
Listen, I don't really know what the plan is, but it's all up to you now. Good luck.
Thank you.
It was like walking into a shrine. This was our holy relic.
Niin paljon lisää tekstiä. Oh my fucking god. Personal notes on the CFR. Dr. Henry Kim. This thing feels like a conundrum wrapped in a puzzle. It's an incredible piece of technology and I feel like we are only scratching the surface of what it can do. And we have already learned so much. I thought I had a good understanding of the intricacies of chronon particles and their practical applications before. Now I realize that I've still got a great deal to learn. Se ei myöskään hirveästi auta tähän lukemiseen, kun viikko sitten tuli käyty alaviisurin poistossa, niin se on vielä pikkasen silleen, että joo. Ei itse asiassa koske, mutta joo, vähän tämä suuvääntäminen tämmöstä pienehkönlaista. The chronon field regulator, as I've decided to call it, is a little miracle. How such a small device can do so much is beyond me. I know it taps into the Meyer-Joyce field, but I don't know how. My experiments just show it can do it. It can also manipulate the field. I wish I knew how. Still, the mechanics of its operation give me ideas. New avenues of thought I've been trying to find for such a long time. The task that I've been set by Mr. Serene has frankly stumped me for years. Knowing that what we observe as the passage of time is just the result of chronon particles being constantly generated within the Meyer-Joyce field is a simple fact that I've been aware of for a long time. But being able to manipulate those particles in a meaningful way, well, that's another question. The mechanics of the situation are clear, almost frustratingly so. In a zero-state environment, there are no chronon particles, and thus time is frozen. The idea of artificially flooding an area with chronon particles to enable the passage of time is the obvious solution. But actually finding a way of doing that, that's something else. Not only are chronon particles incredibly difficult to source, so obtaining enough to actually stutter-proof an area for any time longer than a fraction of a second has always seemed impossible. Perhaps even more importantly, the mechanism of manipulating the particles in a way that would actually allow me to define a certain volume of space as stutter-proofed has constantly eluded me. Well, Ground Zero has solved the former problem for us. We are almost up and running, and very soon we will have the ability to harvest chronon particles at useful rates. We'll be able to build a truly formidable stockpile of them in the years to come. As for the latter problem, manipulating the chronon particles, that seems to be something the CFR does with ease. Its ability to tap into the Meyer-Joyce field and effect changes in its topology is exactly what I need. Unfortunately, I don't know how it does it. I don't have a clue, and I don't know how to effectively control these effects. But my research into the practical effects of its operation has given me ideas for a different kind of chronon technology that works on a somewhat similar principle. Except instead of tapping into the Meyer-Joyce field, it generates a similar localized field of its own, an artificial chronon particle field. And within that field, we can manipulate chronon particles at will. This means that we should be able to create stutter-proofing technology, allowing us to shield a certain area from the effects of zero state. And I believe I will be able to miniaturize the technology to allow for personalized devices with the same effect, almost like an environmental suite of sorts with a harness that the user would wear to create a chronon field around his body. Eli nää Stutterproof-festit on Kimin juttuja. There are still many challenges here, one of which is that any significant volumes of stutterproof space will incur an unacceptably high drain on chronon particles, which are decidedly limited resource. Obviously, with the lifeboat protocol requiring a large stutterproof area that we can maintain for years, quite possibly decades, this is a critical issue we have to solve, and Mr. Serene has made that quite clear to me. Frankly, even with Mr. Hatch backing me, The thought of disappointing Serene over this makes me quite anxious. I understand his concerns, and they are of course entirely founded, but the man's intensity is unnerving. In any case, I'm hopeful that I will figure out this problem soon. I'm hoping to be able to use the CFR itself to regulate the flow of chronon particles given its nature. I suspect it might be eminently suitable for such a role in the Lifeboat project and cut down our chronon consumption rate by a great margin. My control over the CFR is limited, but this seems to be a very basic functionality for it, so I'm optimistic that I can do it. I'm still looking. Näin näkää, kun yrittää nopeuttaa. I'm still looking into it. One thing at a time. We've already made a great progress, and I will say that Mr. Thirin's been quite complimentary with these successes, so I think he'll give us the time we need. Well, it's not like he has a lot of choice in the matter. I'll be honest, the CFR is becoming a bit of an obsession for me. I wish I could sit down and have that conversation and just ask those questions. How did he build it? What it's actually for? But I've been denied the opportunity. A part of me wants to open CFR up and get to the bottom of it, but the potential consequences terrify me. We've already seen what it can do if unleashed. Even worse, there's a possibility that I can put it back together and choose the idea of making a mistake like that is positively powerful liquefying thought. Having to explain that to Mr. Thirin, no thank you. So it is, I have only dared to open up a bit of the case and to get a rough idea of some of the engineering inside. It's amazing work, and it has certainly been a lesson in humility for me. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm a very fast learner, and this has to be the most important work anyone has ever engaged in the history of humanity. If we succeed in our mission, the world will not soon forget the name of Dr. Henry Kim. Sä olisit kyllä ollut todella varmasti iloinen nähdessäsi tai tavataksesi Williamin ja puhua hänen kanssa asioistaan.
There'd been some kind of struggle in the chamber. I didn't know the details. Somebody cleaned it up.
A man named Charlie Wincott. I believe
Charlie.
he chose to take a stand. Unfortunately, it ended badly for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems to be that kind of work environment.
Mhm. Mutta joo, nyt kun tässä kahtoo, niin Petelulla hätsiä näy, eli se varmaan siis on vielä elossa. Jotenkin hyvin mystisesti, vaikka silmään puukotettiin. Charlie Wincott. Data Samurai. Oi, hieno nimi kyllä, Data Samurai. Helvetin kova. Odotapas hetkinen, CFR. Mutta joo. Martin Hatsi on kyllä jonnekin hävinnyt. No why? Ja siinä se on.
It took 11 years for Will to build the countermeasure. Beth died for it, and I knew it could fix the fracture.
This fucking thing.
The problem was, I didn't have a clue how to use it. The only person who did was dead. But Monarch had a way of getting to him before that ever happened.
The university time machine. They've got the core here.
Monarch had built their own time machine above the CFR chamber. That's where I needed to go.
You still believed you could go back and save your brother?
Yes.
Totta kai me uskotaan siihen. Tietenkin. Koska miksi me emme? Mutta joo, mun mielestä olisi hyvä aika jättää tämänkertainen pelisessio tähän. Vähän tietenkin riippuen siitä, että miten pitkään tämä peli nyt jatkuu. Mä tuun tekemään isolla todennäköllä heti tähän syssyyn toisen jakson, niin isolla todennäköisesti tämä puheet saattaa olla turhia, mitä mä tässä nyt teen tähän loppu-outroon, mutta me jatketaan sitten tästä heti perään, joten mä kuitenkin vedän tämän loppuun tässä. Mut joo, jätetään tämän kertainen pelisessio tähän ja jatketaan ensi kerralla. Ja joo, kyllä tämä ainakin viimeinen akti tuntuisi oleva, että varmaan tuo tulee olemaan meidän viimeinen paikka tuo Universityllä. Kyllähän tuo oli. Mutta Universe on se laite, niin sinne ainakin ollaan menossa, niin me mennään sitten sinne ensi kerralla. Eiku vaan iso kiitos teille kaikille, että olitte minun seurani täällä ja katsoitte videon. Ja me tullaan näkemään sitten seuraavassa videossa, mikä ikinä se tulee olekaan. Ja se voi hyvin mahdollisesti olla Quantum Break, mutta sen näkee sitten. Eiku hyvät päivänjatkot sulle, ja se on moro moro!